Yeah. So yeah, also what I've kind of found too is like I don't really want to like overcomplicate my head with like all these different things. Like I know that like you don't really need much. Right, what the hell? Just put it there. There we go. I mean like I would love to be able to trade like Tom, but to be honest, I just couldn't. And honestly, I got no idea how he does it. To be fair, like I know what he does, but I don't know how he does it. Like it's just pure experience though. Because some people might say that with me, with like where I want to see the markets, like probably my eye just draws to it. But yeah, to be honest, as well at this point, I just want to make a good bit of money now. I don't really want to. Okay. Oh wow. Now that is what you want to see. But hang on. Yeah, nothing. I've also got good at like. What I've also done too is that I can definitely get trained to things because like I'm so good at like I in these. Oh, actually, hang on. It's not even valid. This. What a shame. It's not an opposing bar. But that would be so good. But let's just say that was an opposing bar, right? You would basically be doing something like this, right? Well, yeah. I would possibly just bring it down just a bit, and then what I would do is I'd line up the lower hand, and then I'd just put a bit below. Maybe just do it a couple of times. Yep, that's perfect. And then, as of now, you would then target a 1 to 4. Now that would feel pretty sweet. Like you get in and just. And if consistently you can pull those off, right, then sweet. But like, I'm thinking of like with this criteria, obviously this isn't a valid example, but like, if you just give it a good bit breathing room and then just go for a 1 to 2, you could possibly end up putting a bit more risk on. But then again, as well, this kind of stop loss method placement is a bit more mechanical, so what you could maybe do to make the 1 to 2 scenario a bit more mechanical stop loss placement more wise, instead of just relying off experience, because sometimes your experience, you're not going to be able to tap into it as well as you can on some days or as on another, right? You could then just do a lower hand type Stanley strat type stop loss method, where you measure the lower hand and then you go to the most clean point to the left, which you kind of see this wick, and then yeah, and then that's how you would place it, and then well, you actually get even faster with stop loss. And then this is also hella probable criteria, right? But then this is like mental soothing that like, yeah, it's like I mean, but then again as well, it's also not that hard to just place your stop loss just a bit beneath this lower hand, but this isn't even valid anyway. But it everything's met apart from the opposing bar. I mean, look at your playable range, it's fine. Yeah, so um, what the fuck is this? Could even valid circumstances for me out. Like, to be honest, I wouldn't even want to take this. I'd like rather set out. Like, it's flat. Like, when the hell do you see the EMA move flat? Like, the 200. Yeah, you don't really want to get involved there at all. I'd rather just skip. Like, even real time, if I seen this, like, no. Like, that is I'm so glad I didn't open below, but like, yo, I mean, the EMAs aren't even stacked really, so like, I wouldn't get involved there anyway. But no. Okay, this is a good one. So you open below, you've got fire and range, and this is your first trade since 2024. Wow. I probably would take this, to be fair. I would take a shot at this. You know, I know it didn't close bullish, but like, it's fine. Yeah, all your circumstances are there. Pause and bar, open below. EMA is stacked. You've got fine range. I'll show you in a sec, and then just put it a bit below. Oh, yeah, that's. There we go, easy. That would be so sweet, and like, you would feel fine with taking something like this. Like, in the past, when you have a method on silver or something weird, which, like, you know, for me it seems weird to trade, right? Like, you feel kind of locked in. You know, it's like, you know, they've got super high probable criteria that on this occasion, meaning like this vertically wise, and then horizontally, which is the region that the marketplace is sat at, with regard to the participants been on this occasion with regard to the prices, excellent products available to transact at this region. They're likely to be strongly inclined to trade in a certain way, especially when this criteria then forms into these circumstances, right? You feel locked in, and taking a 1 to 4, you know, like, what the hell? That's like really, really, really good. That's 3% of the underlying products, you know? And I mean, with all the other trades, theoretically, you could even go more, but like, you're fine with a 1 to 4, like, you can. And it's kind of just valid that too, because if that closed bearish, then no. And the CFD chart might have closed bullish, you might have closed bearish. You don't care. So nothing.
Do you want anything from the chip shop, Ben?
No.
Fish?
No. Nothing. These markups are all from, nothing. Even if it opened below and closed bullish and below, it's not a nice close. So, you wouldn't be doing shit. These markups are all from, see, from when this is like before clarified criteria. Now we've got clarified V2. So, see, that wouldn't even be valid. Let's check all of these. Nope. This was the version of clarified criteria that Tyler actually showed, but like, it's not got a nice wick. You know, it's not proportionate, so it's just not valid. Okay, technically this would be valid probably anyway. Yeah. Oof, God, this hopefully didn't open my below. Oh, good. Nice. and we EMAs even stacked. Yeah, kind of would, but it's not really nice, is it? Nothing. Oh no. And this is why you would probably not want to utilize a 1 to 2. Or rather, no, this is not why, this one example, but this is an example of potentially why you would maybe want to avoid a 1 to 2, you know? Because in real time, right, like, is this valid even? This is your playable range, this is your range, this is your range. You know, you could possibly classify this as not valid, range-wise, and it would just be cutting it, if it was valid. I would say this is invalid playable range-wise, but if, let's just say it was, and it was undisputable that it was valid, well, your entry would look something like this. So you would obviously have your lower hand there, and you just put it a bit below. I would probably even have to zoom in here to actually mark the bit below. That would be okay, yeah. And then you would go for 1 to 4. Easily achievable. But obviously it doesn't go. And obviously it's not even valid. But like a 1 to 2, it's like, you know, you would probably want your stop there. And like this just doesn't even feel like this real time would not feel nice. You know, you've got an absolute awful risk to reward profile, which is going to need an absolute monster of a move basically to get it. That's 5% of the underlying, well, basically 5% of the underlying product. You know, it just doesn't feel right or nice, and you know, this isn't even valid anyway, so which is good, to be honest, because it's an awful trade, and that awful criteria you don't really want anything to do with. Yeah. Okay, so you had literally one trade from 2024 till now, and theoretically you could still be holding this valid trade. That's crazy, but obviously you wouldn't be doing that. But that's crazy. You'd be up like what, 20%? But like that's from June, and that's actually not even that bad. Like, yo, who's making like actually? You know, that's basically like, if you just even locked that, see, you know, you'd be saying that about like here, even, and you'd be saying like, oh, if you lock that in here, and then it goes even more. But like, even if you locked in this, you know, from what, June to here-ish, you've made like a lot of percent in one trade too. You know, like that's insane. But oh god, I don't know. But yeah, so let's just put that back to 1 to 4, just so we know that like we weren't doing anything else or thinking of anything else. Whatever, it's fine, close enough. So yeah, that was the only trade. Damn. From 2024. So that's interesting in two ways. One way being, you know, is this criteria like some sort of like actual like just super high probable thing, which obviously will take losses, like on this pair, on this asset, if you want to refer to it as. I'd just refer to it like this pair, whatever, you know what I mean? But like instead of saying underlying product. So yeah, this is quite cool. But like going the whole year without a trade, that's insane, to be honest. But yeah, it's obviously is a 4-hour system, right? So it's like, you know, that's still what like. So that's basically 2023. Did it even say? Yeah. So you've got there about 1,500 bars basically. So that's like if you're doing a like 15M thing, that's like so 1,500. Well, yeah, it was like 1,550 times 15 divide by 60. That's only 387 hours basically off bars. So then you divide that by 24. That's 16 days. So in theory, it's not actually that bad because it's basically you're only basically analysing 2 weeks if you've got like an intraday system. So like it's not that bad really because you basically went like so that's actually quite good actually. You see that. Because basically here you went like well if 2 week if just over 2 weeks is a year and you're basically at half a year here, you're just you know you went 2 weeks and then you went a week, that's 3 weeks. That's fine, that's actually like my standard strategy sometimes. So but that's why you would want other pairs. And then also the reason why I'm gonna now go and look at a random pair with you on this is so in the morning, just like I do on my phone, you can just click, see if anything's valid, click, 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 all the way through them, right? And just see if anything's valid. And it's the same criteria, right? So it's like EMA stack, opposing bar, open below 70 to 75% of that bar. And then you want to see a nice whip reject bar, bullets close in a bull case. And then, yeah, place your stop accordingly, right? So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to go over a random, jeez, that's Russian bonds. We're going to go over a random forex pair, and we're going to be using active trades data because their charts close at we'll have a look at USD CAD and we'll have a look at Euro Australian Yen. For the fun of it, we'll have a look at Euro GBP. That's going to be really interesting because I know what kind of yeah, what? Today? Really? Good for the their company. Jeez. So I think actually what I'm going to do is we're just going to do 2025 just to get an idea, and obviously that's only there for basically 2 weeks of an intraday system. So that is also referring to just trading specific session, right? It's 2 weeks, but with, you know, it's like, in theory, right? Like completely in theory. So it's basically like cycling through 2 weeks worth of sessions that you trade and looking for your criteria setup. You don't if it's a robust set of criteria, you're not going to want to see that form left, right, and center because nothing that has a high frequency is going to work that much of the time and of such proficiency, if that's even a word, but efficiency. You know, you get what I mean. Like trying to basically emphasize something that is really efficient, right? So let's go for it. Euro GBP. I have a feeling this is going to suck or it's going to work really well on something like this. And if it works on something like Euro GBP, I would say this is a sincere, serious edge. Because Euro GBP is shit. But then again, these EMAs are an absolute gold mine, and they show you when the criteria, like what? No, they show you the point in time at the price region when the participants participating at that point in time have a strong intent to trade the underlying products in a certain fashion relative to what intent it is that they possess at the region that the market's sat at, right? So, yeah, cycling through, do. And if it doesn't work, I don't really give a shit, to be honest. But then again, if it doesn't work, then, you know, I'd, I don't know, I'd probably have to test it on another forex pair before I even made a decision whether it's like, but nah, it's like one pair, right? I mean, it doesn't matter, you know. I mean, I trade my styling strategy every single day, and I'm not really doing that well with it, to be honest, at the moment. But yeah, wait, why isn't the New York session showing? What the hell? Showing here though. What the fuck? I don't know. What the hell? Oh, I think it's got something to do with yeah, it has. It's got something to do with the time swap. All right. So keep moving. I mean, look, if you're fucking banging out 1,000 euro GBP, you're doing something right. Consistently, anyway. So like, I'm pretty sure one of them said, like on Twitter, one of the TG Capital guys who trade this said that the Trident model worked really well on Euro GBP because it's kind of a trending market to some degree. Well, actually, no, it's not. But you know, it makes sense that some of the time the pound of the euro is going to be stronger, right? But this is actually, yeah, no, this isn't valid for the EMA standpoint, so it's above the EMAs, but yeah, it's almost valid that. And look, it kind of works. You like to see that even when the criteria is almost valid, but it's not valid enough to take, but it's almost valid. I mean, even here might be invalid, but like relative to everything, but bar close wise, it wasn't a nice close. Oh, okay, okay. So, hang on, let's just, you know, hold the horses a little bit. So, EMA stacking, opposing pot close, you've got playable range, and then you've got this playable range, which is kind of fine, but you've got kind of inside this one, and then this, you know, so you're okay with that. Now you need to see this bar right here, which is a nice, nice, uh, uh, bearish bar close, which is wick rejected nicely. It's a proportionate close. You want to see this bar having opened above, and it doesn't, sadly. But you can see that would have been a very nice trade. All right. So this is basically, by the way, the equivalent of looking at like rhubarb, aka gasoline. That's actually a good name for it, isn't it? Rhubarb. Right. Nothing here. Also, look at your playable range. There's like nothing. It's like, what the hell is that? Like, no. But so I'm not going to mark that. I don't even think you open below though, so it doesn't even matter. But even if you did, it wouldn't be fucking valid. So no point marking it. All right. Be interesting if there was a trade closer to now. That would be pretty cool. But so far, nothing. Just locking in basically. Okay, so the code to be something here, but like look at your playable range. This is a hard one because like you kind of got playable range, right? This is probably going to be valid and be a loss. is a loss if you're placing it like a 1 to 4. Oh, fucking hell, man. That's awful. It is actually a really good setup, this, by the way, but not for a 1 to 4. But like, if you were to place it 1 to 2 wise, you would do something like this, right? So you would mark the lower hand, look at these, like that's just awful. And then basically, and then also look at that, there's a gap, you then go to the left, you'd probably mark up that, and then I would probably go somewhere about there. Like, like you wouldn't really want to cover this half wick. It's not necessary that that's too much, but like about there, maybe it's even a bit below, even like there, that's probably fine. And then you do get a nice 1 to 2. So that's cool. But like obviously relative to the 1 to 4, you get absolutely smoked. And to be honest, you do have playable range. So I'm not gonna trick myself and say like, oh no, it's not valid. Like, yeah, it's valid. That's like one range, right? And it's just you've got playable range. It's fine, and you can kind of see that you did because like that's the kind of movement you would expect to see if you had playable range. But like, you're probably not gonna understand what I just said there because I'm kind of speaking out my subconscious right now. But yeah, I'm also gonna change this music over because it's kind of weird. Okay, so this is an absolutely banger of a setup. I just hesitated there just because I wanted to see the playable range. You're in a playable range, you're kind of also in a larger playable range. This just isn't even a playable range, it's just like nah. But this is, and then also this is, but I'm not going to obviously mark that. And also, to be honest, I wouldn't really even mark that anyway. I would just say this is your playable range because it's like the most appropriate one relative to the playable range that's at hand and what I've been unfolding as of like now. And this playable range is kind of the same as this, so it's like range theory, not candle range theory. Like just like it's like this range is the same as this. It's like symmetricalism or whatever it's fucking called. I don't know. Anyway, so you need to see you got an opposing bar. EMAs are stacked very nicely, nicer than that example before, to be honest. And you definitely open below. I hope. Yes, nice. This is unreal, actually. This is so crazy that this works on this. And yes, this 1 to 4 thing didn't work there, but like the setup still, in my opinion, was valid. That like even if you took the 1 to 4, I would still probably say it's valid until that point, that stop loss point there. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's a loss. But yeah, so here what you would do is you would mark the lower hand and you'd go a bit below about there. Now, you're not doing this for spread. This is like a pattern based kind of stop loss. You got your lower hand and you just stick your stop there. You could add spread on if you wanted, but like, I don't know. You would just basically want your stop there, right? Let's just do it again. This is what I like to do. Oh, there. Perfect. And you get your 1 to 4. And then even if you did take that loss, yeah, you're still up 3%. Or worse, 215. I mean, if you're getting slipped more than that, there's something wrong there. So, but that's being said, actually, oh yeah, you'd be up 3, and if you took 2, 2, 4, so 2R would be more profitable. And then with 2R, how you'd do your stop is you'd mark the lower hand. I'd probably say either this is the lower hand right there or this, but to be honest, I would say this is the bar you're entering on is the lower hand. Scroll the price section to the left. This is sus, and then basically what I would do is just put a good chunk below based on experience, and then I would look again. Where's my stop loss coming into the left? I see like this, and then I'm looking even more to the left. I'm saying this. I would say it's fine there, and then you get a 1 to 2 pretty nicely, but well, you get it, but not that nice. But I would be tempted to close there, to be honest. Begging pulse up above this high, yeah, probably would have closed there. That's also the same. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure you would have got your 1 to 4 before that. Let's just have a look. post like somewhere there, oh no, you wouldn't have. So, yeah, I would have still probably closed there, to be honest. But let's just go back to 1 or 2. There we go. But that's interesting that there's been some trades this month, and that's also Euro GBP. Wow. Like, I'm not even just saying that. Like, that is crazy. Like, I'm not just like saying wow for I'm on YouTube or whatever. I'd be saying this if it wasn't on nothing. Alright. I guess we can keep Euro GBP on here, alright? Let's do old JBY USD card as like a pair which you would probably expect to work. Euro or old JBY, I've never traded it, really. I've never traded it, and well, actually, look at this. Oh god, this brings back. I think I remember this actually. I don't have any like markups, I don't think, but I did have some system with this, with like, but it didn't fit me. It was like a weekly support and resistance thing, and basically you then like wanted to see like a nice 4 close around like, yeah, it was just shit, to be honest. It just didn't fit me. So yeah, not worth going into it. Alright. This is going to be interesting. It's good that it's different though. Well, I guess it is. It's a completely different market. Oh, actually, yep, that's valid. It opens up at the 75. Your playable range up to the point in time you get an entry is fine. I mean, like this, I would classify as your playable range up to the point entry bar, and then your past one I would say is like this, and then this is like a 1 inside, which is basically the same. So yeah, it's fine. Now, then you get an opposing close. Your EMAs are stacked. You enter, and yep, you would have your stop just a bit above the high, about there, and then you would go for a 1 to 4, which just doesn't work. Now, if you went for a 1 to 2, how that you would do it is you would mark up the lower hand, which is there, and then you'd scroll to the left, and you would then mark the price action to the left. Does that high make sense? Not really. You would maybe just want a bit of both. I would probably say something like this. So you just go there and go a bit of both, like there. And then do you get a 1 to 2? Well, you don't get one there, but 1 to 5, 1 to 1.5 you do. That's actually what I would probably rather, you know. I would rather a 1 to 1.5. I know this is going to seem like, yeah, he's just curve fitting. And I guess that is what I'm doing to some degree, but like, that would be fine. And like, honestly, you know, there's the lower hand, and then, you know, there's this. Like, are you comfortable with stopping there? Nah. You'd want to go a bit above. You'd probably want to go about there to see same place. I'm pretty sure. And yeah. That's like a proper manipulation bar though, for sure. Like, that's so clean, and then just the type of price action too that then done that, you know. It's not like a slow grind where it's like, yeah, you're probably on the wrong side of the market here at this region with regard to what sort of intent. There's like a one burst, you know, of like some guys or whoever it was, you know. It's quite crazy, and then you see what then you see, you only kind of find that out after the fact though, because like, yeah, this intent is definitely there, but like that's a big flush out, for for sure. My coffee's also key. So it's 12 o'clock though. It's a bit late. It's a bit of a shame that that's it. Well, actually, it closed below. So nope. So you do have setups here. But they're not valid bar closes, right? It's like it's not a proportionate width project, but it does melt off a cliff. Gonna get some lunch after this, and then we'll go over what I was gonna talk about. Maybe do some other backtesting things. I may as well film it. I also quite like it too because it gives me an excuse to ramble on a little bit too, and so it makes it a little bit less boring. So I don't think there's any. Wow, that would be. Alright, that's March. Okay. So that is awful. Right, so you have a trade here. Your email is all stocked. Oh, that is not nice. Actually, you might not. Hopefully, you don't open above. Oh, mate. Hopefully, you don't open above the 0.7 to 0.75. Bull, and then you might be using the bear. No, you wouldn't be. I wouldn't be. You'd probably want it a bit. Actually, you would, but you would want it a bit above. So you get lucky there. Because you would probably have took a loss there even with a 1 or 2. Yeah. Yeah, just ignore that. Jesus. Right. Playable range wise, that's not valid. I wouldn't be getting involved there. Just no way. I can kind of use that excuse of playable range wise and then also pair that up with my experience. It's just not valid. But yeah, you see, you open above, your meals are stacked, but you got this, but it's like even this compared to this, it's just not even valid. But this is compared to that, so it's it's just not valid. Here you might have a trade. Your EMAs are technically stacked. But it doesn't look like you open above. You probably would have had a win there, actually. Nothing. Note. What a shame. Shit. Click on all the wrong buttons. This is a really nice example, but it's definitely not going to be valid. Yeah. What a shame. Actually, playable range wise, you don't even have one, so that wouldn't be valid. I always forget about that rule. range-wise, that's not valid. Just look like, nah. Like, is that like? Oh, JBY is not nice with this, is it? UGBP actually was. Wow. Well, yeah, you open below, but you play ranges like this, and then this. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Nah, I would miss on that, you know. I would miss on that. Okay, now. Well, if there's gonna be a lot, it's gonna be in here, isn't it? But I guess you wait for quite specific criteria, right? So, and that specific criteria is under specific circumstances. So, wow, it looks like you might not even open below. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. That would be a nice trade. But then actually, playable range wise, actually, no, that's fine. You're in a playable range and in a playable range, right? So, you're good. Alright, well, it could be a trade here. This is like a nice trade. Usually, by the seams of it, it looks like when it's nice, when it looks nice, there's losses. When it's not nice, it wins. So it's counterintuitive. Oh, it's taking the piss because on the yes, when it's nice, you know. Anyway, there's been no trades on or GPY, I don't think, apart from that one, which was a 1-1 win 5. So I'm gonna cut this video here. I will do USC card after because I'm gonna get some lunch.